Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're all doing well, and I really hope you guys like my new setting that I am currently setting up for you guys. So I put like a little candle and then this little turtle that I got when I travel to the Canary Islands, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. I can't really pinpoint because I don't want to think about it right now. But thank you for joining me during this space and time for you. And I decided to create a new series, which basically is a series where I am a little bit more intimate with you guys and I share a little bit more intimacy. I wanted to create a space where it was uplifting, and again, I think the word to truly describe it and my intention when doing these videos is to kind of become more open and definitely more intimate with you guys, and to help you but also help myself. And I was thinking of ideas of like what to talk about, and I'm going to truly just talk from the heart right now. I did have kind of like an idea, which is the title of this video, which is how to save the world by saving yourself, or I initially had it in my iPhone is how I save the world by saving myself. So I'm going to give you guys a little backstory on how I saved the world by saving myself. And I always question where is God. I always, ever since I was, I think, 9 years old, I always had this question of like, where is God? And then maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, there was so many bad things that I was seeing happening on the news or watching happening on the news, and bombs and kids dying and all of this bad stuff that I was seeing on the internet. And I used to question, where is God? Like, why is God letting these things happen? Like, why? Like, I didn't get it, and I used to challenge God, the source, the creator, whatever you want to call it, but the it that created everything. I mean, it is us. But it came into the realization that we saved the world by saving ourselves. I believe, I know that ask and you shall receive. Like, ask and you shall get the answers, and you will get them. You just have to be open and receptive, and just be ready, because the answer will come to you. And that question of me questioning where was God led me to kind of like my whole spiritual awakening, and knowing that we are all God. It's like a whole thing. It's like everything is God, from the table, from the flowers, everything, because God created, well, the whole experience is that God created from itself. So yeah, like I just have a lot of things, a lot of thoughts in mind, but yeah, that is it. Like, everything from the flowers, from the lights that we're seeing. Even if a thought comes to your mind, guess who created that thought? Because who were you created by? It's like for example, me, I have a son, and he is part of me. He is not me. He's just part of me living through his perception or through his point of view in life. But at the end of the day, my living cells are him, in a way, not in a way, are him, because I helped him come to life. Like, he gained his nutrients from my body and what I ate. So it's kind of like that. So even if I have the thought of this video, me creating it is God's creation in a way, because me and God are co-creating at the same time. I know it might sound complicated, but it's just is. And that leads me to, how I saved the world by saving myself. You know, I used to question so much, like, oh my God, God, why are you doing this? Like, what is going on? Like, why are you allowing these things to happen? And the reason is because there is free will, and everything is just God, whether you look at it as good and evil. But, you know, it made me realize that even the evil things that are happening, it was our choice and the way that we wanted to experience life. So how I saved the world, or how you can save the world by saving yourself, is that we don't often look at ourselves to see where the problem lies. I didn't realize that, you know, okay, I was not out there committing murder, or I wasn't out there doing, you know, this horrendous things that my fellow brothers and sisters in the world were doing, or are doing. But we, in a way, contribute to that because we weren't showing more compassion or more love or more understanding, and truly realizing how spiritual we are, and we can change these things via spirituality. And you know, going back to how I changed the world by changing myself, is that I had to look at me. I had to see the mirror, see the world as my mirror, and see the things that I was contributing to make the world a place that I didn't, that my soul, that my spirit, that my body didn't want to belong to. And it came to the conclusion that if I wanted for a better place in the world, I had to change myself, and I had to be the change that I wanted to see in the world. Because we impact others not by what we say, or yes, in a way, but mostly by what we do. And not necessarily, you know, you don't want to do it, or I didn't necessarily do it by thinking that I wanted to influence others, but I just realized that I was a cell that needed to be healed, because you can't come to heal if you're not good yourself. You cannot bring peace if you don't have peace within yourself. And there's a quote that I saw online that says, and it's true, I'm not really sure who said it, or where does it come from, but it says that you cannot bring peace if you do not have peace from within. And the world is a reflection of what we are inside and how we look at the things inside. So when I started to change my perception of reality and see that as much as the news want to, you know, bombard us with fear and all of that, there was a lot of things, a lot of great things and good things that were happening for the continuous rising of humanity, for all of us to coexist and live in abundance, and for us to live in communion. Because if that's what you want, if that's what your heart desires, then that's what you're gonna get. But first you have to look at within yourself and see where is the war happening within you, because that was what was happening within me. I didn't see the war that was happening within myself. You know, I was doing certain things that just didn't resonate with my family values or with my spirit, with my soul at that time. So that was the way that I was seeing the world, and that's what the world was reflecting on me too. But when I started to just live according to what I feel more at peace with and I feel more comfortable with, then I started to see the world in a different light. I started to meet people that were just amazing human beings. I started to meet people that are doing things to bring wholeness into the planet. And And it is crazy because, you know, it just came from that question. Where is God? Why are you letting these things happen? And then I reflected back to me. You change the world by changing yourself. There is this movie that I saw on Netflix, and I absolutely love this movie. I highly recommend it, which is called An Interview with God. I think that's what it's called. And basically, I'm gonna put the story short. It was this guy who is a journalist, and he gets to interview God. And you know, there he finds that all his troubles, that God is always with us, the Most High is always with us, but that most of the trouble that we create is ourselves because of the free will. Because what would be life if we didn't have free will? We would be slaves. But then with that free will, which is God experiencing itself, then comes all the things that are happening, all the different scenarios that are happening in the world. But if you want peace, you have to be peace. If you want love, you have to be love. And if you want to change the world, you have to change yourself first. And I feel that's how I change the world, because I'm changing myself. And when I mean the world, I mean my perception of the world and how I live my current life. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everything is peaches and creams, but for the most part, I feel at peace with myself. And I feel that, you know, the more I live in my truth and the more I share my truth and the more that I look at myself for everything that happens to me, I feel better, because I no longer become a victim of the circumstances. I become a thriver. And if you're like that, if you are, you know, maybe going through those things, trust me and believe that it will happen for you as well. And trust me and believe that you have the power within yourself to change the world. We all do. If you feel that you don't have that power, then you don't, because you are the creator of your reality. But if you feel that you have that power within yourself, because you do, you truly do, then that's where the sparks happen. And thank you, beautiful souls of the world, of the planet here that are watching me. This video is definitely for you, because if you found this video, it is meant that it is for you basis. And I love you all so much. Take care of yourself. And always look deep within yourself for the answers, because once you want to help yourself, then others are always going to come and try to help you. But you first have to help yourself. Ciao, and I love you guys.